Hello again. Welcome to Friday, 18th July 2025. Let's get straight to the point. We've got the weekly candle open here. So we had a bullish weekly candle. So because it's a Friday, and it had to create the wick, and the wick was created on Friday, which had the Friday high. So in order to create the wick, we are looking for it to go long and then close short. Because we had the bullish on Wednesday and Thursday. So we take a look at that. Right, so we had the weekly FEG tapped into, closes inside, then we had the bullish, take out the highs, and then Friday takes out the highs and closes inside to up to 0.25%, or you're aiming for 0.50%, for example. Here it did take a 50% of the previous day candle. But I usually target the 30-minute FEGs, so we had the 30-minute FEGs as the target for NQ and ES, and the high was created at around 2 o'clock. SMT at the highs at 3 o'clock. And then we also had a 30-minute FEG created right here and here. So it was around there, and we want that first 30-minute to hold if it wants to go short. So we're looking at the key times to potentially come tap into that and look for a reversal from there to target for this and this. For ES it would be this one because it already had a single tap within it, so this would be an ideal target for it to come raid it. For YM, I wasn't too interested because the journey from there to there is not that long, so it could potentially take the, which it did at 9:30, goes and just taps into that FEG, raids it, and continues lower. There was no other 30-minute FEGs that were open, so other than potentially this one, very small one, so you would be that as a target. So we can see at 9:30, we did have news at 8:30, which were, let's go here. We had news at 8:30, the no buildings permit. Buildings permit, which had no impact, and then the 7 a.m. highs were left open. And at 9:28, it took the highs of the day, right? That all-time high. So it's 9:28. So even before 9:30 opened, it took it. Because this 8:30 had no impact, you can see very low impact, and then it goes takes it, and then we have a little bit of a chop. So if we were looking for shorts, again there was a 10 o'clock news, so a lot of people would have went short, maybe on that FEG or tapped in there, or when it had the breaker through there, and try to take that short, and you would have been okay on NQ, but if you took it on ES, you would have got swiped out because, again, 10 a.m. high impact news, the Michigan Consumer Sentiment Index. So we were looking for this 30-minute FEG to hold because that was the first one created after the high was created of the day. And so then after the 10 o'clock news, you could have taken an entry when it broke structure there. Then on that breaker, you would take entry onto that to your targets, which is maybe the high of that or the low of that, or even the high of this or the low of that, right? Because we had two clear FEGs as targets, so you could take most off here, leave some for here, and leave some for here, which you would have probably got if you took the entry here, then you would have got your target met if you left a runner. If you didn't, if you took a later entry at maybe this FEG right? Or this breaker right here to go short. Or sorry, order block to go short. Then you would have got stopped out on break even. So the ideal entries were here, and you don't want to trade before that 10 a.m. news candle. You would have got chopped up potentially. And if you held, I think some streamers I saw, they did hold on ES and they got swiped on that 10 a.m. news candle. So that was the trade for today. And if you did take a 30-minute and you were waiting a little bit longer, so for PM, so lunchtime, it entered here into that newly created 30-minute FVG right here. And then if we look at the 30 minutes, so when it goes into that FVG, so right here, we see that we have a sort of a SMT right there. We're not really too interested in YM because the clear targets want YM and ES, NQ and ES. So when that occurred and then it closed below, I was looking to go short again because there was a clear target down here, and I was also looking for a red day for Friday. So that short would have been ideal to take these lows and would have target the low of this FVG, the second FVG, and that would have closed that off. So yeah, that was the trade. Those are the trades for today on the 8:30 building permit and the 10 o'clock Michigan consumer expectations. So thanks very much. See you in the next one.